repository, we have one last step that we're going to have to do to make it so you can see it live on the internet. We're going to go into the settings of this repository, and we're going to go down to where it says GitHub Pages. And it says it's got its own new dedicated tab. Check it out here. And we're going to go ahead and change this source. So we're going to go ahead and pick that main branch. That's the only one we have. Leave it at root and click Save. That's all we need to do there. Don't choose themes or anything like that. Just click the source. And now it says your site is ready to be published here. If we click that address, it's going to take a minute for it to recognize it. It'll usually say this for a few minutes. But we now know that, let me just hit the back button, that this is now our web address for the whitewater rafting project. This web address we can actually give people anywhere, and they can go to that web address and see our whitewater rafting project there. Now notice, there's our username. That's why I said pick a professional username. And then we do see our project kind of as the first directory in that domain. So when you have another class that you go to, say you go on to WDD 230, you can use this same web GitHub account and just make a new repository and work on files for different projects. In fact, we'll have 2 projects in this class because you'll be making a personal site later. Okay, I gave it a few minutes and it's still not showing up, so I'm just going to type in index.html, and there it is. Okay, shouldn't have to type that in, but anyway, there is our home page, and that's the H1 that we gave it, so it's pretty cool. Now that was a lot of setup, but what's super cool now is all we have to do is worry about HTML and CSS from this point on. You don't even have to use this terminal again if you don't want to. So now this is all you're going to have to do from here on out with all of your code. As soon as you're done making a change, so say for example we go ahead and add a paragraph, and I save that. Watch what our source control does when I save this. It's going to then realize I made a change, and perhaps we did like a whole week's worth of code or whatever, and I'm ready to turn in my assignment or whatever it might be. Then I go to source control, and I can see that I can put a message in here. This time I added a paragraph to the home page. Something like that. Some meaningful message about what you did there. And then I hit the check box, and that commits it to my local computer. And then I can push that back out again to my remote repository. And when I refresh that, it might take a few minutes again. But when I refresh that, we should then be able to see the remote changes on the internet. And there we go. Refreshed it one more time, gave it a minute, and there's the paragraph showing up. So from now on, you'll just have kind of the steps where you change it, go to source control, put a message in, commit to our local machine, and then push out to our remote repository. And that's all you're going to have to do from this point on. If you get a message like that said, would you like to periodically have it fetch? We're not really going to fetch, but you can just say yes to that. It went away before I had a chance to look at it. But yeah, so there we go. From now on, you're all set up. Just don't make any changes to any of the settings that we looked at today. Just make new commits and new pushes, and you should be good.